Federal government plans proscription of academic staff union of universities over failure to call off strike. Welcome to the news. If you are new, kindly subscribe. And if you have been there, welcome back and thank you for your support now and always. Nigeria's federal government may be considering proscription of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Asuu, if it fails to call off the prolonged strike after an offer was made to it, according to reports. In a report by Vanguard, federal government has also approved an additional 100 billion naira for the university sector as part of the understanding in the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. Besides, 50 billion was equally approved to be shared by the university-based unions as earned allowances. The four university-based unions that have been agitating for the payment of earned allowances are Academic Staff Union, which called its own Earned Academic Allowances, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, the Non-Academic Union of Education Associated Institutions, NASU, and the National Association of Academic Technologists, NAF. Recalled that Asuu embarked on a month-warning strike on February 14, 2022, and have been rolling over the strike to date, while the other three unions starting with NAT Dantus in March. Among the contentious issues are the non-release of revitalization funds and allowances, problems associated with payment of salaries through the use of integrated payroll and personnel information system (APIS), and the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement, while Asuu has insisted that its members should be paid through its preferred platform, the University Transparency and Accountability Solution, UTAS. The non-teaching staff, especially SANU and NASU, have designed their own payment platform, the University Peculiar Personnel and Payroll System. All the three platforms have been submitted to the federal government through the National Information Technology Development Agency, NETDA, which has subjected them to integrity test. Well, I don't see where a place where an employer will be telling his employer, an employee will be telling his employer that this is the way he wants to be paid. Multiple sources in the presidency and the Ministry of Education were reported to have stated that if Asuu refused to reciprocate the federal government's gesture by calling off the strike, the government will consider the option of proscribing the union. One of the sources who spoke on condition of anonymity said because of the priority President Muhammadu Buhari has paid to education, he has approved additional 100 billion naira for the universities and about 57 billion naira for the polytechnics and colleges of education. This is part of the understanding with the unions of the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. The federal government has also approved 35% increase in salary for professors and 23.5% increase for other lecturers. Government also approved 50 billion for earned allowances for the striking unions. It will be unpatriotic on the side of Asuu not to reciprocate the government gesture and call off the strike for our children to go back to school. The government is not also unmindful of the cooperation of SANU and NASU for being patriotic. It is part of the labor laws that the union, especially Asuu, should apply cessation of strike once a trade dispute is apprehended and conciliation is ongoing. From available information, the Minister of Labour and Employment apprehended the strike on February 22, 2022, and subsequently held the conciliation meeting on that day with Asuu, and on March 1st, whereas the dispute with SANU and NASU were apprehended on May 3rd by the Minister of Labour and Employment. Why should Asuu say that the federal government has done nothing? You should also recall that the president co-opted his chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and the secretary to the government of the federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, to join the negotiation to end the strike by Asuu. Why is Asuu recalcitrant and daring everybody? The government has so many options. If Asuu refuses to be patriotic, one of the options is the prosecution of Asuu, which is contained in the Trade Union Act and even the trade union dispute. This, if carried out, may affect them. The president can proscribe an association whose action is inimical and constitute economic sabotage to a country. In the Trade Union Act, the president can withdraw the certificate of an organization whose conduct is not in tandem with the terms for their registration. And also should listen and see what they can do. Also, Section 17 of the Trade Dispute Act permits the Minister of Labour to approach the National Industrial Court Cap 78 laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004 to refer the matter to the National Industrial Court for adjudication to enforce the legality or otherwise of the ongoing prolonged strike by Asuu and to interpret in entirely the provision of Section 18 of the Trade Dispute Act as it applies to cessation of strike once a trade dispute is apprehended by the Minister of Labour and Employment and reconciliation is ongoing. What advice can somebody give? I say one to elephant fight. It is the grass that suffers. The federal government, they are saying they have given them some money that has been approved. As you say, no, we are not going back until this. I think for me, this strike is taking too long. Maybe the Asuu should come down and look at how they can pick this thing one by one. Short term, long term, or medium term and long term should be agreed upon. And they see them putting them in place. Otherwise, if the two of them are insisting on getting every demand they are making on the table, this may not all go well. We all know the country is broke now and there's no money. An election is coming before they start instigating and insinuating that yes, some people are behind Asuu. That is why they are not ready to call off the strike. For me, by now, they should have reached a point of saying, yes, let's agree on this, implement this. If it is implemented, we'll go back and we'll start our work. The university will be open. But who knows? Maybe there are things that is not open to us, the public, that we need to know. Well, what is your opinion about this lingering crisis between Asuu and the federal government? The students at home suffering. The parents are there bearing the brunt of spending double on what they should have spent once. Kindly make your opinion known as you subscribe to my channel. Thank you and be blessed.